Okay, can everybody hear us? WGI folks, this is probably going to be one of the last mandatory meetings until another one's needed. I think all of us know that perhaps you all know why they were made mandatory. Morgan started this several meetings back because there was numerous rumors and various things going around the team that was causing miscontent and some confusion and the like. So he started the mandatory meetings to try and clear those things up. So that's one of the things we wanted to address tonight, and just kind of, if anybody's got anything in particular, hey, I heard this or I heard that, and we want to get it out on the table so we can address it. But next week, starting next week on Monday, unless something happens during the course of the week, it will be voluntary. You can come if you like. We'll try to make these meetings as productive as we can. If there's anything during the course of the week that comes to our attention that we might want to announce on that next Monday night meeting for those that want to attend, then we'll do that. And we'll start this off with safety. Where's Glenn? Glenn Pride? There he is. That's our new safety rep, guys and girls. Glenn Pride's going to help us with safety. He's got a 30-hour OSHA course to his credit, and he's got some experience with safety. So you're going to see a renewed emphasis. There in the back, hey guys, please, in the back. You're going to see a renewed emphasis on safety. I think that we've done a great job. I think our briefs in the morning are good. We're going to try to do some things to enhance those briefs and make them more site-specific or particular to the hazards that each of you encounter on these different sites out there. And Glenn's going to help us with that. With URS, safety is absolutely, guys, the number one priority with our company. And I think all of us know, if you don't all know, if you don't know, we've got some new people here. We've had a few incidents here where we've had some trips and falls. We actually had one of our people go through the ceiling in the top here in the back. And we've had some people injured. We've got some people that are out on medicals now that haven't come back for quite some time. So we want to make sure that none of that happens, none of these incidents occur with any of you here. I just wanted to touch briefly on how important I think your job is. I think that we all recognize that what you do, or probably some of you do, most of you do on a day-to-day basis, it can be boring out there, right? Sometimes it can be boring. However, I think that it's important to remember everything that each of you had to do to get here. I mean, for those that are prior military, you've experienced it before. I'm certain that there's probably quite a few of you in here that have never filled out an SF-86 before. It's quite comprehensive. The medical exam that you took was fairly comprehensive. The application process was fairly comprehensive. There was a fair amount of training that each of you were required to complete before you were allowed to get on the plane to come here. There was a fair amount of training that you were required to complete once you got here before you could go out to the flight line. That's how important your job is. It's very important, guys. You're the front line on the force protection team that protects life and property. So I just want you to know how I feel about your job. Your job is important. We did have a corporate guy, Gordon was here a week or so ago. I think we announced that we're going to have a continued corporate presence. We've got a gentleman coming in on Monday of this coming week. His name is John Atkinson. He's going to help us with HR issues. He's going to fill in for Harvey Nicholson while Harvey's gone. We don't have any news on Harvey coming back or not yet, but he's going to help us with HR issues. Ed and I are doing our best to keep up with it, but it's really really quite a bit to do, so on top of the other things. And then we've got a corporate safety director that's going to be in before the end of the year sometime. And then we've also got our program director for AFCAP that will be here sometime before the end of the year. So we're going to have a continued corporate presence here to help support our team, provide information, listen to anything that you guys might have to say, recommendations that you might have, gripes, complaints, whatever it is. Open door policy here. We can expect a quality control audit from the U.S. government in the next probably 30 to 60 days. The government auditors will be in here in our offices to audit our records and look at what we're doing for quality control. I think all of you know that we do periodic checks on a daily basis at every site. Those quality control reports are filled out. Sometimes there are findings on those reports. We will have to explain those findings. Well, we have to explain those findings on a day-to-day basis with our client here, Senior Galato and Master Sergeant Deal. So now beyond them, we will have to explain it to the auditors. Again, you know, your job is very important. So that's one of the reasons, guys, we take a serious approach to what you're doing out there. Not only are we contractually obligated for you to have a neat appearance, have all your tools, not have listening devices out there in your ears, earplugs, those kinds of things. It's the right thing to do. Something that Gordon touched on while he was here, and I wanted to follow up on it. You know, we've had, I think, at least 2 or 3 people from the Force Protection Team that found job openings within URS Corporation and actually transferred from this program to other places. I think we had 2 go to South Korea. I helped one of the gentlemen, Eddie Veal. I don't know if any of you remember him or not. He came in here to Bagram, went to Kandahar. So we're not recruiting you to leave this place, if you will, but what we recognize is that there's a lot of you that have backgrounds and experience in a preferred field, and your preferred field may not be what you're doing here now. I've gone to, we get a weekly job postings list, Ed and I do. I've printed out 2 copies. I've sorted the openings by position and by location. And we'll make these copies available to you from our office, so you can come in, you can get them, you can look at the postings, you can see if any of those postings align with your background and your experience. If they do, and you're interested in it, we'll try to help you. Right now, there are 2,140 openings. Now, or listings. Let me say listings, because you got to be careful. Some of these openings are actually for positions that are planned, or some of them involve positions that were for jobs that we're proposing on. So you might call the recruiter, we may connect you with the recruiter, and they may say, we want your resume, we don't have the job yet, we want to know if you're interested. But anyway, there's opportunity here, guys. There's opportunity. We want any of you that have job skills that can benefit our company, we want to utilize you to the fullest. Not just here for this, I mean, as far as we're concerned, you're all URS employees. You're not here just for this job, unless that's your plan, which is fine. You know, that's fine. And that's about all I got.
Were those internal postings?
Yes, these are internal URS postings corporate-wide. We can explain them to you. There's like 23 pages in each of these copies. So it's difficult to have multiple copies of these, and you know, we're trying to conserve on the paper and the like, but maybe we'll try to print out a couple of more. We'd appreciate it if you thumb through them. You could make a copy of the page that has the positions that you're interested in, and you know, the information includes the recruiter's name. We could then go to our intranet information and get the email address for that recruiter, maybe the phone number, and then help you if you're interested in that job posting. Yeah, we've had 2 or 3, I think 3 people that have actually transferred from our force protection team to other places, and I know 2 of those were international spots. There was a maintenance program in South Korea, and these people had experience with vehicle maintenance. They were mechanics, and they were very interested in getting back into what they do for a living. So, you know, I'll tell you the other thing. Okay, I think we do have one more thing I want to cover, and that is, you know, please understand that there's going to be a renewed emphasis on enforcing our HR policies. Like I said, with John Atkinson and us being without an HR manager here full time, John coming in the first part of next week, Ed and I have had our hands full. We've had a few incidents here that we've been trying to investigate and getting written statements on and the like. But you're going to see a renewed emphasis on enforcing our HR policies and procedures. We expect everybody to follow the rules. And when you don't, there are implications. Sometimes those implications are, you know, we just need to talk with you. Sometimes it involves written reprimands. Sometimes it involves termination. Let me tell you as well that depending on what takes place here, sometimes it's beyond our control. You know, everybody in this room, the Uniform Code of Military Justice is applicable to you. And that means that we fall under the military police here. We had 2 gentlemen that got into a fight last year. It wasn't a serious fight, guys. It really wasn't. But there was an altercation. And they did go to the ground. And I don't think anybody came up with a bloody nose or a mouth or anything like that. But those 2 gentlemen were arrested by the military police, and they were terminated by the company, and they were debarred from employment on any U.S. government projects. That means when they were terminated from URS, they could call Dynacorp. Dynacorp could try to put them into and get an LOA, and it's going to come back debarred. They can't get a job on a U.S. government project. So, and I want you to know as well, depending on the infraction, we won't hesitate to call the military police. You know, we've had problems in the past with things missing, and I don't think anybody in this room wants to lose their personal possessions. We've had passports stolen. We've had cellular phones stolen. And, you know, we want to protect everybody. And I'm not saying it's, you know, somebody in this room that's taking these things. It could very well be anybody outside this room. So please be careful. Help us. It's kind of like the neighborhood watch concept, you know. We need to watch out for our neighbor. Watch out for our fellow monitor. Okay, do we have any rumors? Anything, any questions from anybody? Anything that anybody's heard that while Ed and I are up here that you want us to address?
Rumors or questions?
It could be, I think we'll answer your questions. What I asked was, you know, is there any rumors, anything that anybody's heard that you're concerned about that you want us to address? Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask the monitor leads. Who picks monitor leads?
It's actually an application process. You know, we look at your qualifications. It's not necessarily subjective. Some of our monitor leads have been here for some time. They've worked as monitors. There's an application process that you go through. And if anybody here is interested in applying for a monitor lead, we can help you apply.
Well, I was going to ask because there's certain things we need to do on the site, and sometimes the leads like they can't do it because they didn't, like on the paperwork, people were placed on certain places.
Mm-hmm.
Leads can't make decisions. We're like, well, can we do this today? Can we do that today? Well, they can't make decisions, and we're on the site.
Right.
They can't make a decision.
Right.
The folks who make decisions is not there.
Well,
They're not there at the time.
All right. Let me say, first, how many in here know that there's a Air Force standard for force protection? How many in here know? You need to raise your hand, right, because you used to teach it. No, but there's an Air Force standard, okay? It's not overly complicated. It's about, I want to say 15 to 20 pages, something like that. We're actually required by contract to instruct our monitors in regards to how to do their job. And seeing as how that Air Force standard is applicable to what we do, we're going to reinitiate training activities, and then sometimes it's just a refresher as well for those that went through it before. Because we had several classes, right?
Yeah.
Last year. We started it, somehow it got sidetracked. That's the other things, I think that everybody recognizes that we do make an effort, especially on your slow days. We try to fill those days with training activities. We do want them to be productive and useful for you. We do have certain contractual obligations, as I noted earlier, that we're required to comply with. So, we're going to reinitiate, we hope, that class that will help with that kind of situation.
So that will we have, would at least be able to say, we want to change some things around, put you over here, you over there, or do we have to go by the sheet? Because the sheet's not always what we need at the time.
I would rely on your monitor lead to properly post you where you need to be posted. Everybody's going to go back through the training.
No, you're right. I'm saying, but the sheet, sometimes the lead would like to make a change, they can't make a change.
Oh, schedule?
Yeah.
Schedule.
Oh, you mean the number of people?
Yeah, no, you look at the sheet and say, look, this person's here at this place on the site, and we can't move them because what's on their schedule. It says this person is supposed to stand there. There's only one person standing there. I'm saying, who's picking the person to stand at the gate? If the lead is out there, can the lead just make a decision? If they're in charge?
I would think so.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
As long as it's within your site,
Yeah.
your personnel, your people, we do have the authority to say, hey, look, you know what? The schedule, sometimes it gets messed around or whatever. And say, hey, look, you were on this gate the last time. I can move you, I can do this, and I can do that. But like I said, that's only if it's just in fairness to move the people around. So the same person, not the same place at the same time. But if it's just because, I don't want to be here.
No, we need to have, the whole team
then
wants
that's
it.
a
We
different
want it.
story.
Everybody
But
wants
yeah, if it's where, hey, you've been here constantly, by all means, we do have the right to do that.
That's cool, that's good.
Okay, good.
And I think something we need to keep in mind too, and I know it's very confusing right now. They've started a new, if not 2 new sites starting tomorrow, some hours with them doing the demining and things like that. We're actually they come to us later in the afternoon and say, whoops, just got a phone call, we got to change this, got to change that. It's a constant change in certain areas, just like the individual monitors have a monitor lead, then we have the military site lead, then we have the Venoms, then we have, it always goes up a chain, and believe it or not, we all kind of have somebody to account for. And I've tried to make some change. I was out on the line today, and they said, well, we have to do this. Unfortunately, I'm stopped right there, and be happy to address it. Right now, we're really kind of moving a lot of people around. So we're gonna have to bear with that for just a little bit. But if it's something that's continual, please bring it to us and we'll address the proper ones. A lot of times the site lead has been told by whoever's just come out and told them, we got to do this, and that might be what they're going on. I don't know. But a lot of times whenever I get the questions brought to me, that's what it is. No, we were told by, we got a point there, we got to do this. So it might be that type of an issue.
What else? Yes, sir.
Concerning those R&Rs, is it possible to get some sort of a block in where we can actually see when there is some openings, because you don't even know when to put in for R&R.
Well, that's a very good question, because and I'm glad he told and Ed, and where is there she is, Miss Tony. What we used to have, and I'm not sure why we don't have it anymore, we used to post outside here kind of a calendar with everybody's name on it, or at least the R&Rs that are scheduled now. So somebody could walk up to the board and very easily see the dates that are open or the dates that are not. So we could put that together and post it out here on the wall so you can walk up and, it's always going to probably be 3 months out or so, but, you know, give you some idea of where we're at. And we can do that, right, Mr.
Yeah, we could do that. Work on it tomorrow.
What else? Yes, sir.
I've been trying to get some information ever since I've been here about the 401k plan. And I've not gotten anybody to help me with that yet. Can you make a class? I'm sure everybody here would like to participate, or some of them would, but there's no information about how this thing works.
Okay, let me say, he's asking about 401k plan. To answer your question, yes. First of all, there is information available to you. What's important is for us to help you understand where that information is. And I would say, short of providing financial advice, perhaps that's something we could have John Atkinson do. One of the things we can put on his list to do while he's here is to help those that are interested understand where to go to get that information. It's internet-based, and kind of help you maneuver in that. I mean, it's readily available. We'll just have to show you where it's at.
I don't really want financial advice from anybody.
No, I understand.
I just want to know how the thing works.
Yeah.
What's the maximum, what's the minimum,
Right. And
and I can make the decision myself.
okay. No, we'll help you with that. Yes, sir.
And not written in legalese.
Can I ask right quick while we're on that subject, just real simply, raise your hand if you can get on the URS Federal Services website. Just not a joke, just really raise your hand if you can do it. Because I guarantee you everybody in here's got a computer. It's very, I'm sorry? No ma'am, that's ADT is payroll. The Federal Services is the company website, which you're employed by the Federal Services Division. You get on there, you've automatically got an email account on there. Almost everyone has logged in at one point. I'll be happy to help you get onto it again if you haven't used it. But all this information is right there, and it's a direct way to link to any of your benefits, any issues that you have, anything upcoming, just like these job lists. It's very important, and I know down in Kandahar I made it mandatory that everybody got on there. Of course, it was a smaller group. And once they did, you would not believe some of the things that opened up. And they said, oh, well, guess what? I can do this. Training is on there. If you've been here over a year, you're probably due for your CBRN training again. Your information awareness, things like that. If your card expires and they say, oh, where's your new information awareness? You won't be able to get your CAC reactivated without it. It's very important that we get these things and stay active about them. But all this type of information is on that site.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing too, if you haven't accessed that site in a while, periodically, I think it's every 90 days, they require that you change your password. And if you don't change your password expires. And then, and let me say, I have trouble with it. I really do. And I work with it fairly often, so we'll be happy to help with that. And perhaps even try to find somebody that we could train that understands it, and that we could set up periodic sessions to help the employees get access, understand how you change your password, who you call, help you with that. Anything else?
The computers, a lot of them are getting rather packed with information, people downloading things and all that. And there's a lot of issues that you can't even operate the things. There's not enough hard drive space. They need to be cleaned.
Okay, that's a good point. And only a Air Force IT person can do that, so we can check into that. It's a good point. Okay, the last thing, I forgot about this, and then I'm going to turn it over to Ed, and we will try to get out of here quickly, right, Ed? I'm not sure who's looked at this before or what. This is the annual URS report. It's financial, company capabilities, and the like. I guess maybe it's coming across. I'm trying to sell our company, guys. We want to keep you as employees. Okay, this is not a one-job shop. We want to keep you. There's no guarantee. We can't promise you anything because you're actually under contract for this particular effort, this program, but we want to keep you. We want to help you. You're a URS employee. It's good company. I've been with the company for 30 years. Just got my 30-year award. So, you know, what you'll find is that, you know, sometimes, and I found this over the course of my 30-year tenure with the company, there are certain projects that don't represent our company well. We think this is one of them. So, you know, the best thing is to put that right out there on the table and be honest with you about it. The company has come back and made some, I think, a significant effort. Most especially, there's some of you in here that go back to June of last year that I remember. I came into the program in June of last year, July, a little bit of August, came back in September, October, November, left, went down to Kandahar. So I haven't been dedicated to this effort, but I've been in and amongst it quite a bit, and it does not represent our company well. I think we've made some improvements, we've made some progress, and that's only because of everybody in this room. You know, it's only because of you. So we want to keep you. All right.
I really don't have much else. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your patience. I'm trying to learn to communicate a little better with each of you. There's going to be some different presences out during the week. You're going to see different people doing different things. One thing I want to thank is Mr. Peebler and Ms. Hatcher on Grimace. They've done an excellent job. The vehicle is spotless, clean, out there. That's a wonderful thing. Y'all ought to really appreciate that and thank them each time.
Oh, last thing, and we will be finished now, right, Ed? Last thing, at these meetings, I'm hoping to be able to provide you more information that's not, how could I say, general stuff like this. What we want to do is let you know what our company's doing in Afghanistan and in the region. And if any of you have interest in other parts of the U.S. or other parts of the world that you're interested in working in, then let me know, and I'll try to dig that information up. So, you know, next week it will not be a meeting like this. We'll put this kind of behind us now, and we'll try to make it more of an informational type meeting and address current events, and hopefully we won't have any more mandatory meetings. Okay, guys? Yes.
These computers, there's no privacy on them. Is there a way we can get a privacy screen on
Oh.
the computer itself?
We can ask. We'll certainly ask. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Okay. All right. Hey, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys.